I'm Shelly Turner with the Builderall team. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use iFrame in your Cheetah editor. So as you can see, I'm logged into my Cheetah editor, and I'm just going to scroll down and go to a blank panel. And here I'm going to add the iFrame element. So I'm going to go to Add, and then Element, and then I'm going to go to iFrame. And I'm just going to click and drag this over. It doesn't look like I have it, but when I let go, it's going to drop it onto that panel. And I'm going to just kind of move it over here so it's all inside that panel. And now I'm going to just click on it, and that activates my mini toolbar. And that allows me to do several things. The first one is I can click Center, and it will center that item in the panel. The next one is Hide Element. So if I click Hide, it's going to hide it. And all I need to do is click in Show Hidden Elements. And you can see that that iFrame component is right there. If I hover over it, it will show me what it'll look like if I put it back. And then if I click the eyeball, it will actually put it back for me. If I click on it again, the mini toolbar also has duplicate, so I can click it and it will duplicate that iFrame element. And then of course, if I click on it again and go to the trash can and click it, that's delete. And I can confirm by clicking that's fine. So now I have my iFrame element in there, and I want to go ahead and configure it. I have my Show Hidden Elements here. To get rid of that, I just click the Show Hidden Elements again, and it gets rid of that box. So now, configuring the iFrame, I'm going to click on it to get that mini toolbar, and then I'm going to right-click it, and that's where I have my style settings. So in my style settings, I can click General Settings, Size, Border, and Radius. So I'm going to do General Settings. And I can choose to make this go the full width of the screen. And then I can also choose an embed URL or an embed document. So I'm going to go ahead and choose embed URL. I can also choose size, so I can manage the width and the height of it. So we've got a width of 10, and we'll do a height of 85 is good. So that's how high that item is. And I can move it over here. And if you'll notice, my panel is not quite large enough. So I have to click on my panel and then right-click it. And I can go to the height of my panel to make it high enough to accommodate my iFrame. Now in here, my iFrame says that the request was not found. And it's because I have the iFrame code in there. So I have to take that iFrame code out and just put the URL of the calendar that I'm trying to add. So all I need to do is go ahead and click on the iFrame, and then right-click to get to the Style Settings, and then go to General Settings and change that iFrame code into the URL of the calendar. And now that's going to make it go ahead and look up the URL and add it into that iFrame area. Now I can go into Size and change the size. I can actually add a border, and on the border I can make it a specific size. I can create the border style and the color. I'm going to go ahead and not put a border around it. Then I can choose radius, which are the rounded corners. So I can round the corners of my item. So I'm going to go ahead and round them to 25 on each corner. And now I have a rounded corner on my iFrame. And now that I've got everything set, I'm going to go to Preview. And you can see now that the item is actually inside of my website. And the rounded corners are kind of cutting things off. So I'm going to go back to the editor and change the rounded corners so they're not cut off. Also, there's a little bit at the bottom. I probably need to make this window a little bit larger. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer and move things down. So I'll go to back to the editor, and we'll click on that iFrame and then right click. And on size, we'll change the height to about 12. Let's see how that does. So I've got extra room there. I think we can probably change it to a 10, maybe. There we go. We'll change it to a 10, and let's reset it to 0. So we'll set all of those to 0. And then we'll right-click it again and go to size, and there's my height. So I'm going to change that to 90. There we go. Let's check and see that. So that gives us some extra room there to play with. And then we're going to go ahead and preview. And so I've gotten rid of my rounded corners, and the bottom of the calendar has plenty of room there. So that is how I can iframe that item into the desktop. Now, if we take a look at the mobile, it's actually going to look a lot different. So if I click mobile view, I can see that my website looks beautiful until I get here to the calendar. And the calendar is just, it's not correct for this particular view. So for a Google Calendar, I could go in and set it as an agenda view and then hide this item. So I can click on it and hide this item and create a new item inside of the mobile view and add the agenda view calendar instead of the monthly view calendar. That way it'll show up better as an iframe on the mobile view, and you can still have your different desktop view, which is the whole month view. So that's how I would handle iframing on the mobile. Or you can take it completely off the mobile and only show the calendar on the desktop. It's up to you how you want to do it. Also remember that when you right click the item, you've got style settings. Also on the iframe settings, if you click animation, you've got animation possible as well. So you can animate anything that you want to put on your website. And the animation can be triggered by time, when it becomes visible, by click, or by hover. For a time animation, you've got how much time before it starts to animate. What kind of effect do you want? Do you want it to be slow or fast? And do you want it to have this effect infinitely? And then beyond animation, you can click Advanced. And Advanced allows you to work with the layers. And also you can save the element into your personal items. And then you can use that item again if you want to add this to another page or even a different website in the same account. And don't forget, when you go to mobile view, you also have the ability to work with padding to create some extra space in that element in the mobile view. Now, if you go to the style in mobile view and change any of these settings, it will change what the desktop version looks like. So you need to make sure in mobile view that you don't change the settings, that you go to the advanced area and change the padding there to make changes on spacing issues inside of mobile. So now we'll go back to the desktop, and you can see that we've added an iframe, including a Google Calendar, and that's how you use iframe inside of your editor. Have fun building something amazing with Cheetah.